Welcome to Western Wisconsin Journal. I'm your host, Hudsonite editor and publisher Michael Foley. And with me on this segment is Alana Schoberg and also Carla Timmerman, and they're event organizers for the Hudson Hot Air Affair, which is coming up early February. This is the 27th year that we'll be doing this here in Hudson. Tell me a little bit about the history, ladies.
Well, it started 27 years ago when there was a local balloonist, Rose Akins, that had been to a rally in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and had decided that she wanted to invite some friends to Hudson for the weekend in the winter to fly. She was working at the Hudson Golf Club at the same time Peterson Nurbin, I get all her names straight, was managing there. And she said, cabin fever days had kind of gone by the wayside, so she said, maybe we can turn this into something more than just your friends. And that year, I think we started with about 20 balloons. We've been as high as over 50. This year, we're looking at around 30.
Okay, and that's how the event got its full-on start?
Yeah.
And that was 27 years ago?
That was 27 years ago.
What keeps this event going? What makes it so special?
Well, the fact that it's in February.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot to do in Wisconsin in February around here, so it is a fun event to get people outside and out in the outdoors.
And you guys do a different theme every year, and this year we've got a real bright and colorful theme. Obviously, you can tell from all the props we have here in the studio. So tell us what this year's theme is.
This year's theme is Paint the Sky, and it's an art theme. We're trying to highlight the arts that happen in Hudson, which is a very artful community. I'm on the Visual Arts Council at the Phipps Center for the Arts. We have 6 galleries there. Seasons on St. Croix is a gallery. Kelly's is gallery. We have a lot of things going on. The Phipps has been with the Hot Air Affair for a number of years, doing a free family day activity. So, and that's always an art-based activity for families to come.
Sure, and you guys do have lots of family activities way ahead of the actual weekend, the 5th, 6th, 7th. Mm-hmm. What are some of the big events or some of the highlighted events that come ahead of the big weekend, and when do they start?
Well, the first one will be starting on January 16th when there's going to be breakfast painting for kids down at Dick's Bar and Grill from 9:30 to 11.
Okay.
And then also on January 16th, we have a candlelight hike and ski out at the YMCA camp.
That's the one I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah. And that's always pretty. They'll have candles out on the trails.
Yep, they do them in luminaries. I've seen.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
So, and if the kids can't cross-country ski, they can hike. There's, a shorter trail so that if it's a little colder and the kids may not want it. Typically, we have a fire out back with s'mores and cookies and hot cider inside to warm up with.
Right. Well, and on this big brochure that you guys gave me, this is a little preview here. You've got events the following weekends as well.
Yes, we do.
Art at the Fair event. Canvas party painting class.
Mm-hmm. Right, and this is the canvas that'll be painted
Yes.
At that event, and it's going to be two Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so, and that's Painting the Moonglow. It is a fundraiser for the Hot Air Affair. Do they have to sign up for that in
Yes,
advance?
they should sign up in advance.
Okay.
If they go to our website, there'll be information on that, and our website is www.hudsonhotairaffair.com.
Okay, great. So, any other pre-events that you want to highlight for folks?
Well, like I suggested, the Family Day activity, and that really is for everyone, grandparents, grandkids, moms and dads and cousins, and we make something that the families can march in the parade.
Okay.
So it's a very fun event, and it's just a couple hours on Sunday afternoon, January 31st.
July, are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're wishing.
Well, it'll feel like July with all that fire at the Torchlight Parade.
Right.
Speaking of the Torchlight Parade, that's one of the big Friday events. Friday, February 5th. What are some of the other things on Friday that folks really can look forward to as the event really kicks up a notch?
Yeah, during the day we'll be having some school programs. taking place in the schools, and then after the parade, there's the fireworks.
Okay.
So, and we also we have a retail promotion where everybody can get a button and they have a number, and then there's prizes at different stores depending on, if you have a lucky number or not.
Let's not just glaze over this whole Torchlight
Yeah.
Parade. Let's
Oh,
talk
no,
about
the
how wonderful
Torchlight
this
Parade is really fun. Really
And,
fun.
So
you
for
know,
folks who aren't familiar with the Torchlight Parade, tell them exactly what happens at this event.
It's about a 2.5 block parade. We go from the parking lot by Wells Fargo down to Walnut Street, and then we end up down at the Arch. And then the very last unit is Viking Electronics. Their world largest marching kazoo band will participate again. And when I usually follow that down towards the fireworks, and it's always kind of cool if you turn around and you see all the people that were watching the parade are now coming onto the street, following the Viking band down to the
Sure.
Arch to watch the
Well,
fireworks.
And you didn't mention this, but for folks who aren't familiar with it, the big draw is to see these balloon torches.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're
Yeah.
not
So
just like an Olympic torch going down
No,
the street.
no, no,
This
no.
is a giant,
Fire, yeah.
several feet high flame.
Right. So even if it's really cold out, the fire really does help
It-
warm you up.
does warm you up,
does
yeah.
warm you up.
It's
So
always one of my favorite pictures of the year, or one of my favorite events of the year to take photos at, because
Yeah.
it's the differing light conditions are really difficult to capture, and when you do it, really pays off.
Yeah.
And there'll be a lot of people in costume trying to think of how they're going to incorporate the theme into their costume when they're marching in the parade.
So how many
Which is
balloon
really fun.
baskets are going to be cruising down the street doing this?
That will vary because some of the pilots, come from Iowa, Illinois, Nebraska, South Dakota, Wisconsin. So it kind of depends on what their job schedules will allow sometimes. So probably 15 to 20
Okay.
baskets, I would guess, would be in the parade.
Terrific.
And the balloonists love it. They love going down the street, lighting up the baskets and letting the kids will encourage them, and it doesn't take too much encouragement for the balloonists to blast those burners.
Right. And as you said, everybody after the parade chases all the balloons down to Lakefront Park to watch the fireworks.
Yeah.
And that's another nice highlight for Friday night.
No mosquitoes.
No mosquitoes.
Yeah.
And then it does feel like July when you're watching
Yes,
fireworks.
yes,
Right.
yes.
And then Saturday is really the big day, it seems like.
Yes.
There's a chock full schedule all day Saturday into the evening.
Yep.
What are the highlights on Saturday for folks to draw them out?
The balloon launch Saturday morning at 7:30 a.m.
So bright and early.
Bright and early. It's earlier in the summer, so that's one of the reasons to do it in the winter, that daylight doesn't come so fast. Because we need to have the daylight, we need to have visibility before the balloons can fly. We need, clear skies, mild winds.
Not totally still, but
not-
not
yeah.
blustery.
Yeah, exactly, so that they can, launch and land safely.
Right.
We need the cold weather. We need the frozen tundra, not only for launching but for landing, so that they're not.
Well, and also
Out in
doesn't the
the
cold
mud.
air create a contrast with the hot air inside the balloon?
They don't have to heat as hot in the summer or in the winter to fly as they do in the summer. So we can serve on propane.
So there's a 7:30 launch, and there's also one in the afternoon.
Yeah.
If people don't feel like
3
getting out of
o'clock.
bed at
Right.
7 in the morning to come out. Okay.
And of course, all the launches are weather permitting.
Okay. And there's, from what I understand, there's something special to see at this year's launch. There's going to be some different kind of balloons.
Yes.
Right. It'll be Charlie Marcourt, I'm sorry,
That's
who hand paints balloons. And he will be there with and inflating some of
Yeah.
his balloons.
There's.
And these are just massive.
They're full-size
art.
balloon.
Right.
Yeah,
Full-size
yeah.
balloon, all painted.
A massive canvas that was painted and shaped into a balloon.
Okay.
We
So
had one
inside,
here in 2003. The carousel balloon was here. So, if anybody remembers back then, they've seen one, but now they'll see more.
Great. How many of his balloons are going to be?
It's going to be 4.
4?
Yeah.
Wow.
4 of them. And he will also be in the school talking about the process too.
Okay.
So,
And
and
for
that's
folks who don't
Rock
know,
School.
and then for folks who don't know about the school
Right.
is where everybody goes to warm up, and you guys have a
Right.
craft fair
We have a
inside.
craft fair there as well. So there'll be a lot of artisans there selling their wares, craft foods
Yes.
as well.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
and then vendors selling food so they
Sure.
can warm up and eat and
Warm up and fill
buy
up.
some things. Yeah.
Yeah.
And for folks who haven't seen these balloon launches before, it is something to see with just dozens of balloons up in the sky all at once, just an explosion of color and light. And what feelings come to your mind when you see all those balloons up in the sky?
Well, I actually really love watching them inflate because they'll be just, you can walk right amongst the balloons, watching them inflate, and the people getting in that are sponsors will get a ride, and so they will take off, and it is pretty spectacular,
Yeah.
especially when there's so many going up at once.
When the sound of the inflator fans when they start filling the balloons first with cold air before they heat it, and just the sound of all those motors running, there's an excitement
Yeah.
that creates in the air.
Well, and another thing I really like about it is, sure, there's all the action right at EP Rock School, but if you're just out shopping or doing something else, and all those balloons are up in the sky, if you're anywhere in the area, you get treated to the entire
Yes.
glory of
Depending
the event.
upon the wind direction, if we fly south, we'll go over 94. So you'll see traffic slow down and hopefully
Okay.
pull over before they look up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's really fun to see the reaction of the people on the ground when you're flying.
Yep, and I've also
when they
seen
land.
years when they land in people's backyards or
Right,
out by the state park somewhere. Or
right.
it's just a treat to see.
Yeah. We can't really control which direction the balloons are going to be flying because it's all solely based on the wind direction of that day.
Come on! I thought you'd had more power than that.
Oh, we can all blow really hard.
We've tried that before.
Yeah, but once the pilot gets up into the air, there'll be different wind directions up there so they can steer a little bit. A couple years ago, we actually had the box in Hudson, and the box is something that happens in Albuquerque, where they actually launch and will go maybe north on the field, and then they'll go up and they'll hit wind, bringing them south, and they'll come back down, and then they'll hit that north wind again, and they
Land in
can
the same spot.
land
Land in
where
the
they
same-
took off.
Right.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. We've had that happen once in
Yeah.
Hudson.
Well, what else happens on Saturday out at EP Rock?
Oh, smushboarding.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
There you'll see some crazy people dressed up in crazy costumes and smooshboarding. So it's 4 people on skis running a race, basically, or
Yeah.
skiing a race.
Yeah.
To see who can get out and back.
It's really hard to explain to
Without
people who
falling.
haven't seen it before. It's you just have to check it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So if people come up in the morning, they can stay all day and be entertained.
Yeah, there's something going on all day. Then we'll also have the kites
Kites.
coming to fly, so they'll paint the sky for a while for us.
The 5K is happening 10 a.m.
Yep,
It looks like.
10 a.m. We've got a 5K run walk. That's a real fun event to
Fairly
do.
new,
Registration
fairly
is
new.
open right now, so people can
Okay.
register. Again, going to the website.
You'll have an ice carver, crafts for kids.
Right. The Crafts for Kids will be inside the school, sponsored by different people, but one of the things they'll have is Cheers Pablo will be having canvases for the kids, little canvases for the kids to paint.
Great.
So encourage the artwork.
You've got pet costume contest. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh, that is.
No, should they dress up the pets according to the theme, or is it just
We
most
always
creative costume?
we encourage participation, with the theme to see,
What people come up with.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
So whether it's people dressing up or pets dressing up, we want to encourage the theme of painting the sky and art.
Great.
Art in Hudson.
And then as it gets darker, there's going to be another one of my favorite events. I like the ones at night, I guess.
Yeah.
The moon glow, or
Yeah.
the field of fire, as they call it. So tell folks who haven't ever been to this event before what to expect out of that event.
Okay, so that's when all the balloonists will come out onto the launch field, and they don't fly away. They stay on the ground. They will inflate their balloons if the winds allow, and then they'll just, when they glow, when they burn, they glow like a Chinese lantern. So we'll have like 25, 30 balloons out on the launch field glowing. It's
Sure.
beautiful.
Yeah, and this is called
Yeah.
Moon Glow.
Okay.
So this is one of the paintings that will be at urban activities that they can do at Urban Olive and Vine
Okay.
prior to the event. But that's what this one
This
is called, is
portrays the
Moon
moon
Glow.
glow.
So it's kind of how it looks.
Yeah.
They
Very
just
good.
glow in the
Captured.
glow in the dark.
And if it's really windy conditions, they'll just do the field
Then
of
we
fire.
do a field of fire.
And that's without the balloons, just the
Just
torches
that,
up in the air.
those torches once again will
That's still a
get
good
used.
time.
Oh
It
yeah,
still is
yeah,
fun.
that's fun. The pilots can be pretty creative in how they
Yeah.
let off the flames go up. They're experienced.
Yeah. And then as we get into Sunday, what are some of the highlights on Sunday? There's another launch scheduled
Sunday
for the
morning.
morning.
Yep. And of course, throughout the weekend, there's geocaching.
Right.
That's something that we started several years ago with the event, and there are lots of geocaches in the Hudson area. So, you know, part of what we try to do is kind of bring summer into winter, where geocaching isn't really just a summer or fall event, but it's something you can do year round.
Sure.
Get you outside and off the couch and enjoy Wisconsin winters.
Sure. There's the I Love Creepy Crawlers program at the Nature Center. And the Kids Ice Fishing Derby as well, Lake Malibu.
Yeah, that's a fairly new event, so we're happy to have that one back and see how big a fish they can get.
Right. So that pretty much sums up the big weekend with all the events. What are your favorite events?
Well, I'm at the marketplace. I do the hats, and so
Okay.
I am there most of the time from 8 in the morning till 8 at night. But I really, I love the parade. It is so funky.
Yeah.
And it's just a silly parade. It's nothing serious, and it's just a lot of fun with the balloons and the fire and costuming. So.
How about you, Carla?
I think it's the moon glow.
Yeah.
Just because it's so fun to just kind of step back and look at all the people out on the field enjoying it. And it's, you'll see multi-generational families come to the event, and just getting the kids out in the winter and a new and different experience that they will remember.
Great. Well, I'm definitely going to be putting up all these events on our events calendar on Hudsonite. Where are some other where are some other places folks can go to get information about Hot Air Fair?
Well, the website.
The website, which is www.hudsonhotairfair.com. We're also on Facebook, so they can like us on that and follow. Both the website and the Facebook will have flight decisions posted.
Okay.
We post them as soon as we can. Sometimes, we're starting to look at the weather, but the sun's not up yet.
Okay.
So sometimes you have to get that sun out and see what is really happening outside.
Sure.
Not just what the computers are telling
So
us the
everybody's going to
weather's.
be really glued to that Facebook page. It's 7 o'clock, trying
Yeah.
to figure out, okay, do
Yeah,
I
do
I
we
need to
bundle
leave the
up and
house or
go,
not?
or yeah. But even if they don't, if we don't fly, a lot of the pilots will come out and do what we call a meet and greet.
Okay.
And that way they can come up, they can look at the baskets, they can talk to the pilots, they can learn more about ballooning by being there. And then, of course, this year with the painted balloons will be on display at that time. So
activity.
we're going to have a great weather weekend.
Great.
Yeah.
That's about all the questions I have. Is there anything I'm missing or anything I didn't ask or that you'd like to add?
That I can think of.
I can't, yeah.
There are
It's just-
brochures around town. There will be signs in windows that are people that are sponsors of events at the Hot Air Fair. So if you don't go on the computer, you can also probably pick up a brochure at just about any.
Great.
Yeah, they'll be available at the Hudson Chamber and then any of the other businesses that participate. Well, all bit, we try to get those brochures out everywhere for people so that they can, get to the event and choose which one they think they can make it to and enjoy the weekend.
Of course. Well, thanks for joining me here on Western Wisconsin Journal, Lana and Carla.
Thank you.
We'll see you folks out at Hudson Hot Air Affair, February 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.